where like it kind of like fades in and they're already having a talk, but it's like super out of context. So it's like, this is why, like, I don't know, like, I don't even know. Something that sounds bad out of context. I can't think of something right now.
But. Well, this is the inaugural episode of the Not Just Arin podcast. I am Arin, and you are?
I'm not Arin.
Okay, but what's your name?
Joseph.
Okay, that's good. That's a good name.
I hope so.
Well, we'll see. So this episode, I mean, what better way to start off a podcast with two besties than to have a sort of primer about our friendship, how it started, how it continued, the future of it. Well, maybe not that, but, something like that.
How long have we been recording?
2 minutes.
Okay. Continue.
You did say in the middle of a conversation, and I was like, oh, that's my...
Hey.
Okay. So, this is the friendship episode, and we're going to talk about, well, let's just start off with how we met. I think the obvious answer is college. Well, obvious for us, not for the listeners at home, but we met in college. Do you want to say where we went to college? I don't think it matters. Okay. Yeah. Belhaven University. It's okay. I'm not going to get into the college experience right now because we both of us have like
a small Christian college.
Yeah. I've talked about it a couple of times on my channel, so anyone who knows me from my YouTube channel will know a little bit at least about how I feel about my college experience, but that's not what this is about. So, we met in college. I don't even know what year. What year was that? It had to be maybe 2018.
Well, we started 2017. I feel like it had to have been 2018.
Yeah.
Because I remember you didn't start until like spring of freshman year.
Yes, because I took an elective film lab. This is when I was still doing creative writing, and I hadn't yet decided to like switch over to film yet. But I think film lab was like the catalyst for that.
Yeah, because you helped on election, if you remember Jonathan Delaney.
Were you there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, finally, you forgot something for once. Yeah, no. You helped with Jonathan's.
Well, I remember doing it. I just don't remember you being there.
Oh, oof.
No, I remember. I think, okay, this is good. I think I remember our first interaction, the first one that I remember anyways. So we were filming the segments in the student center, which I think was like supposed to be like the end of that film. And I remember walking up to you and saying that you look very sunburnt because like your face and neck were like red. Well,
I remember our first interaction. Maybe like I don't remember how that film was shot, but I remember our first interaction being that it was outside. It was outside behind Billy Kim, where it was like we were shooting outside all day, and yeah, I think I remember that first before the end of the movie in the student center.
Okay, did we like interact at all? I feel like I wasn't paying that much attention to you.
Well, I guess I consider myself an observant person and like to pay attention to things. So like I just noticed like, oh, there's a new person on the set. I haven't seen this person before. And then it's like, and then I guess you were very like quiet, but very like, I don't want to say a hard worker. You were like,
I am a hard worker.
Well, okay. I'm not saying you aren't. I'm just, that's not the word that I would use to describe you in this context. It's more like you were quiet and you were like, you did, I guess what you were told. So you were the perfect film, the perfect PA, didn't talk and did whatever was asked. And so I think that was when I was like, it just, I guess it made a good impression, a good first impression. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. So, my next topic was going to be our first impressions of each other. So I'm glad that was
skipped ahead.
yours for me. My first impression of you, which is potentially a little ignorant, but I think we were in film lab one day and the roll was being called and I hear this name Joseph Lopez. And then you raise your hand and I'm like, wait a minute, this kid is white. So that was my first impression.
First impression, white.
Yeah, essentially. But eventually I got to know you. and learned that you
I'm
are
not
white.
Oh.
Yes and yes.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Earlier in college, I had like a thing where I was like kind of putting like descriptors for like people in my phone. And so, and I don't know if you noticed this, but because it was kind of like, it was maybe like embarrassing of like, if it was ever found out, but it's like for like Sarah Caroline, I put like, oh, like the nicest person ever in like my phone.
And I remember in our group chat, I think it was the movies one. Joseph went to see movies. Yeah. You labeled me the chillest person in film. I was like, oh. So yeah, I do remember that.
That was like an accident because it's like I added to you, but it added like my like contact for you. And so I was like, oh shoot, I feel like that's a little embarrassing. But
is that still my contact name?
No, I stopped doing that after like sophomore, junior year or something. But it was like, I don't know. I guess it was more like I was just stating that for the first impressions thing. If it's like, oh, like, I guess quiet, like good worker, like gets along with everybody. It was like a good addition to the film department, you know?
Did I get along? I guess I did get along with everybody.
All of the students, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Like initially.
Yeah, well, I did in the end too.
Later, thrown hands.
What?
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I mean, sort of, but yes, sent.
Yeah. So I'll ask you this: when do you think we became like proper friends?
I guess considering that we needed to like prep for this podcast,
don't tell them that.
I'm breaking all 6 walls. Or maybe, I don't know, 3. Well, because it's normally the 4th wall, but like for a podcast, there's no walls. Okay. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm breaking several walls at the least, more than just the 4th. Okay. But no, I have been thinking about this for this topic.
I will say,
you interrupted me.
I'm sorry, but wait, I remembered something. You texted me, I can't remember when this was, it had to be some months ago, that you thought that we first like really became friends on Hypebeast. Do you remember texting me that?
Yes, and I think that answer still stands of like, is that video on your YouTube channel?
Well, it is, but I think I privated it. But for the purposes of this podcast, I will make it unlisted. Okay. And I'll put I'll put a link in the description on YouTube. If you're listening on any other platform, you're just going to have to go to YouTube. Or actually, you know what? I think I might post it on our Twitter.
So your audience can see just how white I am.
Exactly.
But no, I guess to answer your question, yeah, I guess that's maybe my guess, because it's like, I don't know, it seems like a lot of friendships, at least the way I view them, it seems like they just kind of happen. It's like you're kind of like, you're just hanging out, and then eventually there's kind of like, you get a little closer, or you get like, you're hanging out so frequently that it's just like, oh, we're friends now. But like, I feel like it was that year when you were doing like your film projects. I don't remember all of them, but like,
let's see. This would have been my intro to digital production.
Yeah.
Because that was a how-to video.
Because I feel like, I'm not sure, but I feel like I helped you with more than just Hypebeast. But it was like, I think, I guess this isn't like maybe the reason we became friends, but just like, I appreciated that opportunity and that like, just how much fun I had on that set. And so it was like, it made me want to say yes to more of your projects, of stuff where I could like be on camera and like not be myself. And so I think I just like, you were a calm enough person that like I could, I guess, enjoy your company. I feel like even though we can be hyper, it's like, I feel like I enjoy like more chill people. And so I think that was already a good start and a good first impression. But I think like, working on projects together is probably what like strengthened that and like, I don't know, like bonded us more.
So I passed the vibe check.
The vibe check. I guess. I mean, that wasn't a meme yet, but yeah. I guess do you consider that as well, or do you have like something earlier or later? Well,
okay, so I was thinking about it, and yes, however, I'm not entirely sure which one of these events came first. Was it Hypebeast or your ordeal with the tall woman from Texas, as we will call her? I can't remember which one came first. Maybe it was at the same time.
Hypebeast definitely came first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
because that was when I guess me and Tall Woman were still just like friends.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. I feel like also around this time, I thought I was becoming really close friends with one of our other film classmates. Sure, we'll call them classmates. But after I graduated, you just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. I feel like, okay, so Hypebeast for you, that was your moment like, well, we're friends. For me, personally, it was, so this was, I'm assuming, back in like 2018, whenever YouTube broke up, you and the tall woman from Texas.
2019.
2019?
Mm-hmm. Hypebeast was made in 2018.
Okay.
And then I guess like the whole Tall Woman thing was mostly like first like 3 months of 2019. You're
right, because I think it was cold. Why are you laughing? I remember it being cold.
Well, I like that you have
and okay. So do you remember finals for what semester was that? Oh my gosh, but it snowed during our finals in like 2018.
Really?
Yes.
Like finals in December or finals in April?
Not April. It was December.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, I remember it snowed. Somebody threw a snowball at me. That was weird. I had no idea who that person was, but I guess, snow. I think you texted me. I can't remember exactly what you texted me. I could go back and look because I don't delete text, but that's going to take too long. Mm-hmm. So you texted me something and I'm like, who do I have to fight? No, I think either you called me or I called you and you expressed in some form of communication that you were kind of having a hard time with somebody. And I was like, who do I have to fight? And he was like, I'd rather talk about it in person. So we went up to the study room of our dorm and we had this whole long conversation about the tall woman from Texas who you were dating briefly and how she kind of was really not very nice to you after the breakup, how she blocked you and how that made you feel really bad. And, I thought it was just nice that I was able to be there and listen to all of that. And I feel like in that moment we connected on an emotional level. Because I think I also talked about, because I think recently at that time, it wasn't a relationship like that, but it must have been at that time. I had very recently gotten out of this really long friendship in the most ridiculous way. I have 2 videos talking about it on my channel, but briefly I will go through it. So basically, I was friends with this guy from 10th grade up until my first-ish year of college. And then I guess the distance really did something to him because out of the blue one day he asked me, this is after Christmas break. I want to say 2018. He asked me hey, would you mind if you showed your boobs if we video chatted? And I was like, okay. He didn't say those words outright, but he led up to it. And honestly, that just kind of made me so mad because, I thought we were friends. Why are you trying to do all this? But yeah, I think I talked about that with you. And then, honestly, I think I just let you talk for a while because you clearly needed to get some stuff out. So I thought that was nice. And I had Wingstop, but I didn't eat all of it because at the time I still kind of considered you a stranger and I don't like eating in front of strangers. So now I don't have that issue. I will down some food in front of you, but yeah. So I felt like that was when I first considered us to be friends. And I will say we've had our phases with different people, usually just 3. So I think at some point it was I don't know if Girl Sam was ever fully in our group with us, but I'll definitely say that me, you, and Boy Sam used to hang out a lot. And you said you don't remember this, but I definitely remember this.
It's still fuzzy.
All right, well, I have the video. Oh my gosh. So, okay, I told you about this video, right? I don't know how long it's going to take me to find it, so I'm just going to keep talking. But
I mean, you can let me talk for a second. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I want to talk about. I wasn't sure if there's anything else to say about Tall Woman. I mean, personally, not you can answer this, but I'm wondering what I texted you. Like something vague, something ominous. It's hey, can we talk or something? Definitely not, but like
I don't think it was something like that. Honestly, I can't remember if you texted me. Gosh, I cannot find.
We just psychically connected and met up in the study room.
Yep, that's exactly.
You said something's wrong. The Wingstop can wait.
Well, okay, that's not important. But I have a video, right? So you're like in the back seat. I'm in the front seat of Boy Sam's car, and you like hang your head out the window. And this is in your long hair era. So I took a video of you in like the rear view mirror, and I thought, it was just a fun moment of the three of us. This had to be shortly before the end of a semester. I just don't know which one. We both have that.
If my head's out the window, I feel like it's got to be warm, so I feel like it's got to be the end.
I think it might have been cold that
Really?
time. Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking then.
I don't know either.
You know I don't like the cold.
So I think we kind of answered this already, or at least you did, but why do you think we get along so well?
Okay, I maybe need to think about this for a second, because I don't always think about like chemistry or something. I think...
Well, I'll say this. Do you think we're similar?
In some ways, yeah.
Okay. What about... I think we have different personalities, personally. We're like... We have the same interests, but we have different personalities. I feel like... Honestly, I didn't used to think this, but now I do think this. But I think I'm more extroverted than you are.
Really?
Yes. Because, over this whole Pond to Replay...
The what?
The pandemic.
Oh, what the heck is a Pond to Replay?
It's the hit Rihanna song.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
I'm not too... I know a little bit of Rihanna's music, but not a whole lot.
Okay. But during that time, I found that I really need human interaction more than I thought I did. So I feel like I'm definitely still an introvert, but I'm not like all the way at the end of the spectrum. Like I'm... Probably more in the middle, like an ambivert. I think that's what they're called. But I definitely am not as shy as I used to be, especially like, I don't know, middle school. But I feel like that's just growing up. But anyways, what the heck was I even talking about? Oh, I'm more...
Well, I was trying to... Or it was more like you were talking so that I maybe could think about my answer.
Yeah. So our personalities are similar, but I'm more extroverted than you are.
I think... Maybe now that I've had some time to think about it, which honestly doesn't matter because my answer hasn't changed. It was just maybe trying to flesh it out. But off the top of my head, I feel like we have very similar humor. Like we both like the internet is a very like crazy complex thing, and there's layers to it. It's like just because like we use the internet one way doesn't make us the same as like, I don't know, like Facebook moms. Like it's like there's communities upon communities upon communities. But I feel like we while we like we're not in the exact same ones, we have kind of like the same humor and the same like YouTube rabbit holes, and like we kind of know some of like the deeper internet stuff. I guess for our community, whatever that is, this like meme focused, like YouTube focused corner of the internet. And I feel like we both kind of delve into that, focusing on different topics. Maybe like you like The Sims a lot.
Well, I will say I'm definitely more into like Stan Twitter memes. I get recommended those a lot, and those I enjoy, I think, the most. And yours, I don't even know what to classify that as, but
I feel like I really like shit posts. Like,
yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. But
my YouTube recommended, I don't know. I feel like my humor has gotten like more and more absurd due to like just the people I like I get shout out to Gianni Mater, Italian name.
You don't even know how to say it.
I don't. Do you?
No.
But I feel like his memes are so great, but they are completely absurd. And what is it? Yeah, I guess like the briefest way I could say, I was trying to make it sound really like cool and complex, but the briefest way is I feel like we have a similar sense of humor and like kind of very similar like corners of the internet, or kind of know those spaces that like maybe not a lot of other people know, you know.
We also can make each other laugh very easily.
I think I can make you laugh way more easily than like you can make me laugh, but
that's true. But I also just kind of laugh easily in general. So
okay, but you can crack me up.
Yeah, I do. And I do often because, once again, I am funnier than you.
That's false.
All
right, chat.
Anyway, there is no chat.
vote who you think is funnier.
Vote for me. Thank you.
All right, well, I rest my case. At the very, well, you can't, maybe the debate for like who's funnier, that can rage on, but like who's better at improv, that's me for sure.
I'm not even about to argue about this, but okay.
You literally tried to like, you couldn't even yes and yourself. You're like, all right, guys, we're meeting here today for and then you're just like, yeah, I'm bad at improv. Like,
well, I don't have the think juice all the time. Okay, you caught me on a bad day.
But that's the thing. You just gotta power through. You just gotta,
Well, I'm sorry I didn't take an improv class. I should have though. That seemed like a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a little stressful. I got very sweaty every class.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it. Now. Well, that's a you problem.
I think I'm just. Oh wait! I wanted to respond to like the introvert extrovert thing. Okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna say like I'm an ambivert, but there was a brief time where like I thought I was an extrovert because like, when was this? I think this was after breakup with tall woman.
Did you say her name?
No, I don't think so.
Not before.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think I ever said it until like.
I'm just making sure because I feel like I heard it in my head.
If I ever said it, it was before we were recording.
Okay, you're right.
Because I was like, huh, look at these notes, and I was like, oh, we're bringing that up.
Can you read my handwriting?
Her, yeah, maybe not from this angle, but yeah.
Okay, of course you can. It's facing me.
But what is it? I feel like that was a particularly tough time because it wasn't just breaking up with her, but it was also like losing like that entire friend group because it was like it kind of really became like
because she poisoned them against you. That was the thing that got me.
It was like I don't even know who poisoned who. That was the thing. It was just such a I don't know how much we've talked about this. I've talked about this a ton with like my mom.
Probably a lot at the time.
Yeah. Well, I just know I've talked about it a lot with like my mom, Melissa, Patricia, like I guess my a lot of very close friends. I don't know. And we are close friends, but I don't know how much we've talked about it. But like I guess it's something that's kind of like still haunted me a little bit to this day because it's like it was such a toxic friend group where it was like everyone was like whoever wasn't in the room, it's like it was almost like, all right, we're kind of going to talk bad about that person now. And it was so unhealthy. So I don't know if like tall woman poisoned the whole friend group against me or if the whole friend group poisoned tall woman against me. But like it was just, I don't know, very sad and confusing because like other than Patricia, I pretty much, I mean, I lost like the people that I spent the most time with, and I guess maybe you could even say like losing that friend group, which was not good to me, allowed me to pursue other friendships more like you and David, if you remember him. Because I feel like I don't know, maybe this is just like a hindsight thing, but like reflecting on it, it definitely feels like I really liked like you and David and I guess Joey too. But like I spent all my time with like that friend group, but then I don't know, I feel like it is a hindsight thing, but like I kind of regret that, because like David left, and so like it's like, oh, I wish I like spent more time with him,
He's not dead, by the way. He just moved away.
Yeah. Well, I just said he left.
I know, but you made it seem like, oh, he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
I had to clarify.
David is not dead, confirmed. But well, yeah, I think after that breakup, I was so lonely because I lost like my best friend at the time, Patricia, was like going through a tough time or a really tough time of like graduating and all sorts of other stuff. And so, I don't know, I just felt incredibly lonely. So I felt like I was like craving the company of people. And so it's like, I was like, I'm an extrovert, but I think like now, like 2 years removed from that, I think that I can really enjoy. I really enjoy like company with where it's just me. I really enjoy time to myself. But I feel like I also need, like, I mean, everyone needs this, I guess, unless you're, I don't know, a sociopath or something. But like everyone
I think
needs.
it's called codependency.
No. I was gonna say like everyone, like humans need human interaction is what I was gonna say. And if you like don't, then you might be a psychopath. You know.
Okay.
You know, like John Doe in Seven, the movie we just watched.
We watched that like several days ago.
We just watched. Anyway, no, so like I think I know that I need interaction with people. I need to like hang out with you and Melissa and like my brother and other people. But I also need time to myself as well. But I think like I'm not like an extrovert in the sense that I like to, or if I am an extrovert, if you can even consider it as such, it's like I need to be around people like probably half my time in the week, maybe a little more, but it's like I really don't like more than like 3 or 4 people. I really like small groups. Anything more than that, it's like it's too much. But like a really tight like trio or like maybe like 5 people max is like what I prefer, where like everyone can banter, no one's getting like left out or anything.
See, me, you and Boy Sam, we were kind of like that for a hot minute until he dropped off the face of the earth. Until everybody's leaving us, gone but not forgotten. He's not dead either, by the way. He's just
I don't
He's
dead
know.
to us.
He's not dead to me.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty harsh. We can edit that out.
I doubt he'll listen to it.
Well, I'm joking. I don't want to tell him about it though. Then.
Well, if he has hurt feelings, he can talk to me about it, and then we can talk for the first time since November.
Well, I mean, this can maybe we talked about. Okay, so we haven't talked about that one yet, but like potentially skipping ahead is I feel like it's good to be careful when like talking about someone else when they're not there, because it's like if they do hear it, it could hurt them. Yeah. And I guess that's maybe like what happened here. I'm gesturing to the notes, which isn't good for a podcast, but no. But I also didn't want to skip that bullet point.
Okay. So I guess I do agree with you. I feel the same way where I don't know. Sometimes, I feel like I like really crave human attention. And attention is really like the right word, because sometimes I just want people to pay attention to me, which is a really weird thing to like admit out loud, but I don't know. It feels nice.
Recognition.
Yeah. And like, just I used to like try to convince myself that I don't like being the center of attention, which is true. Too many eyes is too many eyes. But like having
how profound.
But having like, I don't know, just like one dedicated person there to like pay attention to me would be nice. I feel like that's anyway.
Well, I think like what is it? Do you like the YouTube channel Wisecrack? Have we ever talked about them? Heard of that. Okay, well they're like a philosophy YouTube channel. They like dissecting stuff, specifically like culture and entertainment. And I was watching one of their or listening to one of the videos lately talking about Spider-Man, but it was kind of talking about like, I don't remember which philosopher or the name of the philosopher, but it was one philosopher proposing or talking about identity, and like his view, I think, was like that a human's identity is partially rooted in like recognition of like just being noticed by other people and being recognized by other people. And it's like, it was kind of almost arguing like, if that doesn't happen, it's almost like, do you even exist? Of just like, if you only exist to yourself, you know what I mean? Which like, I guess I don't think I'm going anywhere with this, but it was just, maybe it just made me think of that, what you were saying. I guess the video was kind of saying that like humans kind of need that, and like if you don't get it, you could be fine, but it also could be very hard to I don't know, kind of like
withdraw from it.
No, I was gonna say like have your identity like,
or like have a self identity,
solely rooted in yourself, and like just not being either recognized or appreciated by anybody. Like I feel like that is difficult, I guess.
Yeah, and I will say, I remember this as you were saying it, but really kind of hurt about my, I guess, friend breakup from, that was 2018. Yeah, that was 2018. With the guy who wanted to see my boobas. Is that
Alright.
not funny anymore?
No, it is. It's just, I don't know.
Anyways, with that guy, how our friendship was is that I could like text him just the most randomest stuff at like any hour and he would like reply. And, you know, we would have like these long conversations over like hours.
Mhm.
And I mean, hindsight looking back on it, I know why he did that now.
Because he's a simp. Okay. Well,
Honestly, yeah.
dang it.
Honestly, that was kind of the situation, but you know, and it feels kind of weird now thinking about that, looking back on that, and like hindsight is like, I mean, am I really ever going to have that experience again? Because I really did like, you know, that kind of relationship that we had where we could just talk back and forth for like a long time, not even really about specifically anything, just, you know, just talking about nothing. And, you know, I don't really have that anymore. And that is kind of, I don't know, I guess tough.
But then
it's tough.
Then you need to like, I mean, I guess then it's kind of like, do you need to evaluate like if like does the attention still matter if it's not genuine, I guess. If it's I guess
simpish.
I feel like this is maybe more of like a female problem, but just like if he's just in it for the booba or if he's in it for the friendship and the relationship. Because I guess having someone to talk to and like listen to you does sound very nice, but then it's like, are they really listening?
Yeah, I guess you're about to make me cry because now looking back on it, like
I looked at these notes, I was like, oh, that's pretty personal.
I mean, on the one hand, like I felt like at the time they were, you know, talking to me and listening to me because they genuinely wanted to be my friend, but you know, I guess not.
I mean, you may never know.
I mean, I guess I'll never know for sure, but I feel like that was definitely the case. So, and then of course, because like our friendship even endured when we went off to college because we went to 2 separate colleges in like 2 separate states, and still, both of us would make an effort to like call each other and like have these hour-long conversations and just like catch up and, you know, like we would do when we were back home, you know, and now I don't have that. So, I mean, I kind of have it with you, but just more infrequently. I will say you're not the best about texting back, but that's fine. I have identified that.
And I am the best about answering the phone.
This is true. You do always answer the phone, except for like one specific instance, but we'll get to that. But you are good about answering the phone, just not texting.
The second you press dial, I'm like, I answer, you're like, what the frick? It didn't even ring.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes, but...
It's because I'm always on my phone.
This is true, which makes it even more nonsensical that you don't reply to my texts.
I don't know.
And listen, I try not to take it personally, but it does annoy me sometimes.
It's also very ironic because it makes me a huge hypocrite because like I take people not responding to my texts very personally.
Oh,
and I
really?
also don't respond to people's texts sometimes.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'm thinking of more ways to hurt me.
No, but I think that segues really well into how we dealt with COVID because I mean, up until that time, let's see, we were both in college, and
you had already no. Okay, continue. Sorry.
So up until that time, we were both in school and we were seeing and talking to each other on more or less like a regular basis because we had classes together. We lived in the same dorm. It was really nothing to just like go downstairs and hang out and like go get food somewhere and like hang out or whatever. And then of course we'd see each other a lot in class and during projects and stuff like that. So then all of a sudden, you know, that March we had to like get up out of there. And that lasted 5 months, I think. So let's see, March, April, May, June, July. About 6-ish months. I think I left in April. And of course...
We had to like... I mean, I don't think we saw each other until next semester, like senior year. But go on.
But yeah, so that was certainly interesting because we didn't really know like how it would play out. I remember, oh my gosh, when the Rona first started, they said that by September of, what was that, 2020, it would be all resolved. And here we are 2 years later, not resolved. But that's neither here nor there. But I will say it was interesting because, you know, you living in Mississippi and me living originally in Alabama is kind of tough not seeing each other and also just kind of not seeing people in general. And so we did have our little tactic to, you know, not let each other get too down. And basically what we did is we just sent each other YouTube videos back and forth for like months. I think if I go back in my phone, I'll just see like YouTube links and like not a whole lot else. And honestly, that really helped, you know, because to me it showed that you were like thinking about me and like actively trying to like reach out to me, which I thought was very nice. And, you know, it was something to keep my mind off of things in that very uncertain time. And let's see, that lasted up until we went back to school. And then, of course, when I graduated that December, and that 8 months of terror, that was me post-graduation.
You're gone for 8 months?
Yes, I kept count. Because remember, I left in November. But technically, I graduated in December.
I mean, Well, I guess I want to say that, like, I feel like I barely remember that, like, early COVID, like, leaving school. And, I mean, I feel like I'd really have to jog, but I feel like my mind has really, like, erased that from my memory, partially because of, like, how maybe traumatic it was. Like, like, I don't think we've ever talked about this, but, like, there was one night where it got, like, so bad where, like, I didn't fall asleep that night, where it's like,
really?
It was like,
it because of COVID or something else?
It was because of, like, this is more like family stuff of like, where it was like my parents were like so back and forth of like, of whether or not I could see Melissa, like my girlfriend, that like, they kind of kept being like, oh, you can see her, but then it's like, oh, you can't because it's like something came up or something. And like,
really? I did not know about that. And
so there was one night where like, when I don't think it was like a panic attack, but it was literally like I couldn't fall asleep because like as soon as I felt like I was falling asleep, I felt like my heart was like going to stop. It was very scary.
Yeah.
And so I stayed up all night and like was kind of like pissed at my parents because I was like, you did this to me, but like they didn't care.
Man. So why didn't was it just like they didn't want y'all to be together, or was it because of like safety issues for COVID? Or
it was, well, okay. It's like I wonder, okay, we're like sort of getting off topic, but this also sounds like an interesting topic. It was like, we've talked a lot about Jose, and he is it's controlling under the guise of concern, under the disguise of concern. Right. So it's like,
I remember,
it is the perfect, COVID was like kind of the perfect thing to happen for like a controlling narcissist of just like, because it's like, from what I understand of that, I don't know, that mental disability or whatever, that mental disease, it's like you want a very controlled, very isolated environment. And so like COVID was the perfect excuse to create that environment where it's like, no one can leave the house. No one can come to the house. Only I can. Where it was like, he was the only one that could leave to go get groceries. Everyone else, it's like, we can stay in the house and we can walk down the street and that's it. And so it was sort of like, Melissa can't visit because it's like, oh, her family's not being as strict. She could bring the disease to us and then we could die. And so it's kind of like, Melissa felt really terrible about this because like she felt like she was guilted. It's like, oh, I want to see Joseph. But then Jose twists it into like, oh, if you want to see Joseph, you're selfish because you could potentially kill Annalise, you know, which it's so difficult because it's like, technically that's true, but it's like so extreme that like, it's just like, I don't think that was like the actual, his reasoning behind it, you know? But that, yeah. So I feel like, all that to say is like, I feel like a lot of that summer has kind of been like blocked from my memory. So it's like, I feel like I remember the stuff like with my family and Melissa, but I guess I don't remember like, I guess texting you videos, but I guess if I did and you appreciated them, that's nice. But that whole time was, I don't know, I guess terrible in hindsight. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember you telling me, I don't think I knew what was going on at the time, but you told me like he had become like a doomsday prepper or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, that's wacky and wild.
Real paranoid, real like conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Like,
we're going from one emotional topic to another emotional topic. I would say that throughout our friendship, we have been more or less on the same page. So far, I think that we've only been in like one major fight. Mm-hmm. It was two separate fights, but it was both about the same thing. Mm-hmm. So
I don't even remember the first one being like a fight. I just remember like maybe like a disagreement. I think I
felt more strongly about it than you did. Mm-hmm. Is the whole thing.
Well, I mean maybe it was more like maybe I'm just qualifying like a fight as like someone's like feelings got hurt or like mm-hmm. there was actual like tension or like beef, if you will.
Okay, I would say there was a little bit of mild tension on my part.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to set it up, I think we all know what happened last year on January 6th, except for Joseph as it was going on, but we'll get into it.
Well, I don't keep up with the news. So
yes, but you don't keep up with the news, but this was like kind mm-hmm. of a history-changing event. That was my main thing about it. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about the insurrection that happened last year. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say I like witnessed it firsthand because I wasn't there, but I saw all of it unfold on like CNN and on Twitter like as it was happening. So it was really wild to me because as it was happening, I couldn't like take my eyes off of it. This absolutely bonkers event is happening right before my eyes, and this could like change the course of American history for like ever mm-hmm. if it went one way. That was how I felt about it. I think maybe because I had like witnessed it as it was happening, that really informed my opinion about it. And then, okay, so, well, I guess it mixes in together. But of course, I made a video not about this, but the title of the video is, do people not pay attention to politics because the system benefits them? So that's what that was. And no, we did have a fight. Mm-hmm. We got into like a proper like disagreement. So I called you to talk about it. That was the day of, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, they're storming the Capitol right now. And you were like, you didn't really say much about it because I texted you that first.
I remember it. I remember it now a little bit. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so eventually I like called you because I think at that point it was like really starting to ramp up. Like mm-hmm. they were inside the Capitol. Mm-hmm. Like these MAGA people were in the Capitol. Mm-hmm. It was a lot to me. It's still a lot to me. Mm-hmm. And I called you and I was like talking to you about it and like relaying the events. Like they were certifying the election results and there's like a protest and people had managed to get their way into the Capitol. And you know, what you said to me, like, really, really rubbed me the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And honestly, if I'm being honestly, it still kind of rubs me the wrong way. But, you know, I feel like enough time has passed. And, you know, after talking about it to my mom, I have resolved to just forget about it, I guess. Mm-hmm. But you said that it probably wouldn't matter like a week from now. Mm-hmm. And from my perspective, as I was witnessing it all, it was just like, there's no way this could just like go away in a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, here we are a year later and it's still not gone away, right? Mm-hmm. They're still trying to identify people who were there. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we exchanged some words. I'm going to try to remember. We had a pretty long conversation. I think it had gone up to like an hour, which I feel like is pretty long for us. But near the end of it, I had said something along the lines of, well, you don't care because you're white or something like that. Something to that effect.
You said it in like I guess it kind of hurt. I don't know if it would have hurt more being direct or indirect, but it was mm-hmm. indirect.
Right.
Where you said like, in my experience, like it was implying like what you meant about me, but like uh-huh. not directly saying it.
Yeah. So now that you said that, I think what I said was, in my experience, the people who don't care about these kinds of things, mm-hmm. referring to, I guess, January 6th, is...
or just politics in general.
Yeah, politics. Is that because you don't really engage with politics, which honestly might be a good idea. So I said that usually people who don't pay attention to politics are like benefiting from it for some reason. Because that conversation that we had, that whole row that we were in, inspired me to actually like make that video and like do all the research into it, in which that I found that the answer to that wasn't that simple. Like there are a lot of factors that go into whether or not a person pays attention to politics, which paying attention to politics is a really general metric to like
you
measure.
You can even say participating more specifically.
Paying attention and participating. And so in that video, I learned that things aren't like black and white. And so that was great. That was like some discovery for me, but I made the mistake of including not our entire text conversation, but just that one text. And I didn't say Joseph's name. I didn't like, that was really the only thing I said about it. And then, okay, let's go back to the prior conversation. I remember after I said that, we both got really quiet for like several minutes. And I could tell like, ooh, I think I just said something wrong. But I didn't know how to address it at that time. And so I think, very awkwardly, we like moved on to like a different topic until eventually.
We were quiet for like minutes.
It was several minutes. And eventually we just moved on to something else. But I could tell like, ooh, I think I said something wrong. And so after that conversation, that initial fight, I make the video, I put it out. And then I don't think much time passed in between that either. And then, I'm like calling you some days and like you don't pick up. And I'm like, okay, maybe Joseph is just busy. And then.
It wasn't like the conversation, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't like the conversation like on January 6th, like, and the video, weren't those like months apart? Like.
I gotta check now.
Because I feel like I saw the video in like fall,
Yeah, I think you're right. Where is my mouse cursor? Oh my god, okay. It was 6 months ago that I made that, so 6 months from here. So, like, August?
So it was 6 months after. It was, well...
No, 6 months from now.
Well, okay.
That I uploaded the video.
Well, it's been a year.
Since January 6th.
And then it was 6 months, and then so it was 6 months after the talk, roughly.
Okay.
Maybe.
I feel like not a lot of time has passed, but time is weird. So,
Time is weird, everybody. This just in.
At some point, you end up watching that video. I didn't know this, of course, because you didn't tell me until later. And then all of a sudden, you just stopped answering my calls. And at that point...
I mean, I don't know. I guess I just want to be specific because I maybe don't want to make myself sound too bad. But I did not answer your calls. But I think it was like for like, let's say, 3 to 5 days, and I think it was
only like a week.
It was like 3 or 5 calls that I think I ignored.
And I think I just assumed you were like busy at the time because I think.
And going back to the lore, I'm really good at answering the phone, so it's like, ooh, what's going on? Yeah, exactly.
And I think so if this was in like, I don't think this couldn't have been in August because I moved here in August. Well, I moved here in July. It was before that because I was still at home.
Well, this was like August of like senior year, right?
No.
What?
This happened, your senior year, no.
Oh, I had graduated.
Yes.
I was still living in...
your old apartment.
But you uploaded the video in August?
I couldn't have. I don't know. It says 6 months ago. I'm going to look for the exact upload date because I know that's cap. I don't know.
Yeah, time is weird, everybody.
Time is weird. So let me see.
No, because Patricia visited, I think, in July, maybe.
Yes.
And
it was before I got my job, which was like...
Well, I moved out of that place in August, and I know I saw the video in that place.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I guess, I don't know how much the date matters, but it's more like there was a good bit of time between like the day it happened, the day the Fire Nation attacked, and the day I saw the video.
I need to know now, because I want to be accurate. So I need to know, yes.
Okay.
Accurate.
Well, I was trying to make fun of you, but you did it on purpose. That negates it.
Exactly. See? I'm the funnier person.
No. What? It doesn't make it funny. It just made my joke
June
unfunny.
June 16th. That's when I uploaded the video. It was June 16th.
And I saw it in July, probably.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've established that, some time passes between us having the first row and then me uploading the video and him seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as we said, for like a week, you stop answering my calls.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, at this point, I think I knew what was going on with like your family stuff. So I just assumed that, you're like busy with all of that. So I didn't want to like be imposing or anything.
I don't think anything was going on with my family at that time.
Well, it wasn't, but I just assumed it was because you weren't answering my calls.
Mm.
And as we have established, Joseph is very good at picking up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. I didn't want to like make a big deal about it because something was probably going on. There wasn't anything going on. Well, there was something going on. It was because you were upset at me. And well, you can tell the story of when you first saw the video.
Okay. Well, I guess I will do my best to give my honest, experience of it. But I mean, this is a pretty personal first episode.
I mean, yeah, we gotta set the bar.
Mm-hmm. I think like going back to the phone call on, I guess, January 6th. Yeah, when you said that, I was like very hurt and like shocked that you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess like I kind of like, I don't know if I've said this before, but like, or at least to you, but like I kind of considered it kind of like a racist thing to say.
Yes, but one thing you kind of have to understand about my headspace at the time is that this was July 2021. That previous summer, George Floyd was killed. And so I'm absorbing all of that kind of all over again because it feels like that happens like every 2 years now. First it was Trayvon Martin, and then it was Michael Brown, and then the riots in city that I forgot. And I kind of go into it in that video as well, how, my lived experience kind of informs the way that I interact with politics.
Well, I guess I think like, where's I going with this? I guess, yeah, I felt like I guess by saying that, I'm not saying like you're racist. I'm just saying like it struck me as a racist comment. Because it felt like it was negating, it was kind of singling me into like just everything that makes up me into this one maybe aspect of me of just like, I don't care about politics, into that being like, well, I'm privileged, and I think that's not good, I guess. And just like, and so I can't talk on, I would never be in the same like headspace as you, because it's like, I guess I'm not Black and we haven't had the same experiences, and we don't come out of, I guess, those events that you listed with like the same thoughts out of them, or the same fears and concerns. And like, but I think it's important to try to understand each other as best we can, and not try to like generalize of like, maybe you come out of those experiences afraid. I guess I'm just saying that. And like, then if I were to say like, oh, well, you only came out of those afraid because you're Black or something like that, like, I feel like that would be equally bad, where it's like, I feel like a Black person could not care about those events potentially. Like it's up to them. I feel like I'm rambling, but like,
you're making sense.
Okay. Good. I just never, I don't think it's important to try to understand each other, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and never like assume what someone is thinking or assume what someone's background is, I think. And so like, it felt like it shoved all of my experiences of kind of like, I didn't know it because I was like a little kid, but like my family grew up very poor and like, it's like I am sort of an immigrant, or I'm like half, despite how white I look. Like, well,
you were born in Honduras, right? So technically you are an immigrant.
And it's like, so it's like, yeah. And so growing up very poor, being an immigrant, sort of, despite not looking like it, it was kind of like,
well, an immigrant is anyone who comes from not that country and into that country.
Well, like,
you didn't know
okay.
That?
I don't know, man.
Well, that is the definition of immigrant, so.
Well, I have dual citizenship.
Oh.
I have both.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
But, so it was kind of like not knowing all of that about me and just kind of like assuming it because of my skin color. You know what I mean? And like, So when you said it, it really hurt. And like our friendship carried on for that months, but I think it really put like a wedge between us for that months where it's like, I don't know if I can like be as close to Arin as I have in the past, because it's like I guess she feels a certain way about me that I guess I can't agree with, you know, because it's like, because if you already think that about me without like knowing my whole past and my whole lore, it's then why even bother telling you the lore and all that. And so like, and so I guess then my perspective, that's like my whole perspective of the talk in those months after that. But then seeing the video of just like, all right, we're still friends. Like we can still vibe a little bit, but not necessarily be as close. But then seeing the video, it's like, immediately seeing it, I was just kind of like, oh, like I thought we had moved on from this, I guess. Like, and so, and then watching it, and it's like, oh, like this is about me. And kind of like, it felt terrible because it wasn't just like you, I guess, only thinking that about me, but like also sharing that thought about me with like your audience, you know? And it's like, I don't know how many views that has, but like
87.
Okay. I guess that's not that many, but it's still like, even if they don't know it, the way I felt is it's like, that's potentially like 87 strangers that think like less of me because like I don't care about politics, you know?
Yeah. Well, of course I didn't really see it that way because I never intended for it to like be like that. I just felt like that specific instance was like a catalyst for me to want to know more about a specific topic. Because I mean, I didn't put you fully on blast. I didn't put our whole text conversations. I didn't say it. Yeah, it was just the one text and then a snippet of the phone call, not the actual phone call, but just what you had said because it had stuck with me so much. However, that one instance led me to like do research, not like Facebook research. I read some studies, okay, and to like actually really try to understand this perceived phenomenon, right? And through that, I ended up learning that, you know, like I said, it's not all black and white. It's not just like a simple solution, oh, rich white people don't pay attention to politics, because that's clearly not the case. Rich white people love paying attention to politics, which is something that I found out in my research. Yes, exactly. So like, you know, honestly, I think I was trying to come to a very simplified conclusion in that video, but I couldn't, but I still wanted to like publish what I had found. And honestly, I do still maintain that it's like one of my more well-made videos just because of the amount of emotion that went into it and the amount of research that I did to like prepare for it. So, which is why I haven't like taken it down or anything like that. And also because we have more or less resolved the situation. And so, and I said,
I think I just had to, I guess for it to be resolved, I just had to make sure that like you didn't, I guess, still think that about me, you know, and you said you didn't.
Yeah, because we like had a whole conversation once you finally started picking up my phone calls about how you felt about it. And I genuinely felt like really bad because that, you know, really, really wasn't my intention with that. Right? And so, is there a saying about intentions? Intentions, something, something, then something, like, something.
The only one I know about intention is the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Exactly. That's it. Right? So I had good intentions making that video, but the outcome was like not good at all. So yeah, even though I intended for it to be like a learning experience for everyone, it ended up being something that almost cost me my friendship. So that's the backstory for that video. But, you know, eventually you had explained to me, you know, just like you said, all of your lore and everything, and I really came to understand. Joe lore. Yeah, I really came to understand that, especially, you know, after making that video, that people really are very multifaceted, and that things just aren't black and white like at all ever, except for the colors black and white.
I think
Well, I will say that I did end up talking to my mom about it because honestly, okay, so when it first happened, like in January 6th, I honestly just felt like super appalled that you could just like think like that, right? And honestly, I was just going off of emotions at the time. So, and you know, my mom was like, okay, I think you two just don't need to talk about politics to each other anymore. And I was like, yeah, maybe you're right. And so now we don't really talk about politics unless you ask me something, which...
Or just like what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, can't talk about everything in every relationship. And I know, okay, so there are some especially impassioned people of color on Twitter.com.
There is especially impassioned people of all skin colors on Twitter.com.
Well, I know, but I'm saying specifically.
Okay.
Some people of color, specifically.
So you're focusing on just impassioned people of color, not impassioned
on Twitter.com.
anyone. Okay.
Yes. Who think that, you absolutely cannot be friends with someone unless you share the exact same political ideology with them. Mm-hmm. Now, okay, in some instances that makes sense. Like, obviously, I cannot befriend a Nazi. It's just not going to work. I can't befriend a Klan member, I'm not Daryl Davis. I'm not built for that, right? So,
and there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like...
But I'm saying, like...
Do you at least admire maybe those people that try to do that?
Yes. Okay. However, I'm going in a different direction with this.
Okay.
Some impassioned people of color on Twitter.com say that you can't be friends with people like that or even really interact with them. And I think that's a little unreasonable because I feel like people are more multifaceted than just their political ideologies or whether or not they pay attention to politics or care about, the Black Lives Matter movement. Because I will say, honestly, I think I've had enough Negro suffering for like a lifetime. So It's hard to say that I don't pay attention to it because I kind of can't not pay attention to it because it's just like there. But I've never been to a protest. I have never used like my social platforms, which I don't even have much of a platform to use, but whatever. Some people think that even if you have like 2 followers, you should be out there like spreading the good word, but whatever. I've never used my platform to like really be very outspoken about these issues. And it's just because I'm fatigued about it all, especially after, the whole George Floyd summer. I didn't go on Twitter for like a good month after that because all I saw was, number one, videos of a man dying over and over on my timeline. And I just could not take that at all. That is too much. And of course, just people being angry about it and being like, it made me feel like I wasn't doing enough, even though I feel like, specifically for like the Black Lives Matter movement, but I feel like, as a Black person, I feel like me being alive and thinking that my life matters is enough, if that makes sense. Like, I don't feel like I really need to be out and about like that. Some people can do it, and those people are great. But I value my safety, which is why I'm not going to a protest. So that just all goes back to, certain impassioned people on Twitter.com. So, yeah. I will say that I disagree with those people. I think people with differing ideologies can get along and even potentially be friends. Because I kind of sort of made a video about this. Oh my gosh. I'm referencing so many of my videos and you haven't even seen them all. But I made a video about sort of
How many of them are less than 7 minutes?
This one's over. This one's definitely over 7 minutes, but I made a video about the sort of, okay, I'm not Canadian, so I don't know really how prominent he is, but I would say prominent Canadian conservative YouTuber JJ McCullough. Nowadays, he definitely doesn't talk about politics nearly as much as he used to, but back in the day, he used to like actually be on TV as like a political pundit and do all of that stuff, and he was like heavily conservative. But not like, I made a point in that video to point out how different, like very different, American conservatism and Canadian conservatism is. And personally, I think that JJ McCullough is like a way more agreeable person than your average American conservative. Because he just seems like a nice guy. I don't know, you probably have never seen one of his videos, but, okay, so, I don't know, he just seems like a guy I could have a conversation with and like a normal person who also happens to be a conservative. So, like I said, things are multifaceted, and even though he is like a conservative and that's heavily associated with like being anti-LGBT, JJ is a gay person and he's a conservative. So things are more than black and white is what I'm trying to make a point with that. So I feel like people of differing ideologies absolutely can get along and be friends. And that is just my opinion. How do you feel?
I agree.
Okay.
Well, it's settled.
Thank you.
You've solved racism.
I gotta show you one of his videos because I do like his channel. It's very fun. It's a fun channel. However,
out of curiosity, how long have we been recording?
Hour 20. Hour 12.
My roommate's just in his room starving to death.
That's his problem.
Oh, okay. It's like should have stored some food for the winter.
Exactly. But we have one more.
Well,
and we
actually, I guess I wanted to say maybe to end on a. I mean, it's not where we're ending, but like to end on a nicer note. It's like after we did resolve things, and after we did resolve things from like the video and kind of talking about that. I guess maybe, I mean, I've already said this in like a birthday card, but like, I think like that whole, most of 2021, I think I felt like very like lonely because there was a lot of stuff that was like going on with my family. There was a lot of stuff like, I guess COVID's still going on, like graduating, dealing with, film stuff. There's just, wow. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so, like, I felt very, like, lonely because it's, like, most of my, I guess, friends have moved away. It's, like, they're either busy with work or, like, David moved away, you moved away. And so it's, like, for a while, it felt like I only had, like, Melissa. And, like, Melissa's great. She's fantastic. But, like, she's just one person. So it's, like, she wasn't enough. But I feel like I've really appreciated you moving back because it's like you are a friend that like consistently hangs out and is available, unlike I guess a lot of my other friends. And so maybe I just like since resolving that, I feel like for me it's just been really good of just like hanging out and like having someone other than Melissa to hang out with, you know.
And honestly, I also struggled with deep loneliness. During those 8 months that I was away. I don't want to like be melodramatic and say I was like depressed or whatever, because like it's not like I ever like talked to anybody about it, but I will say that was probably the worst I have ever felt in my life ever. Worse than high school. And it's hard to top that, okay? And so yeah, definitely moving back helped a lot. And, you know, also the fact that I guess also kind of don't really have that many people to talk to. Like, recently, I've been trying to, like, branch out and make new friends, but, like, I kind of don't know how. So, like, okay, I had downloaded Bumble for, like, you know, the Bumble reasons previously, but they have this other setting where you can use it to, like, find friends. It's called Bumble Friend Finder. And so I thought about using it.
Is it similar to Adult Friend Finder?
I mean, you find friends who are adults. But no, I had been on that for like a hot minute. I tried it out for like a day, but I don't know. It's kind of hard because the way that I make friends and also really form any kind of relationship, which is why I find online dating to just be hellacious. But that's another podcast topic.
Online dating, something I have zero experience with.
Well, I was going to say dating in general, but
okay. Well, okay.
That fits in.
Maybe. But
yeah, the way that I make friends is just like seeing someone on a consistent basis, which is how I made 90% of the friends that all the friends that I had when I was in school, like K-12 is just the people that I saw on a regular basis. Because, like, I mean, when I was younger, it's not like I really went anywhere. The only place that I went and, like, had constant socialization was at school. And that kind of also went into, like, college. That was, you know, the only time that I had, like, constant socialization because I wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't going to parties. I wasn't going to like bars. You know, I wasn't like breaking out like that. Not really. I mean, let's see.
These are maybe more reasons we get along. We don't drink. We're both kind of lonely.
Yeah.
And we like memes.
This is true. I mean, I'll drink on special occasions, like not this Thanksgiving, but last Thanksgiving, I think I had like a glass of wine.
I don't really like the taste.
Well, this one was really good because it was fizzy and it was sweet. I can't remember the exact brand of it, but also for very emotional, deeper reasons that I wish to not get into at this juncture in time.
NFTs.
What do NFTs have to do about it?
You have to drink your NFT worries away. She's like,
no.
Oh my god, the economy. But NFTs.
We're not talking about NFTs, but there's a reason that I just don't want to get too comfortable with drinking. I'll just put it that way. So that's primarily why I don't.
I have
not
my own
previously
too for not really liking drinking.
Okay.
Another episode.
Okay. I would say that only really happened like now within like the last year that I had thought that. But anyways, I don't go places like it. the way that I make friends is kind of hard to make friends as an adult like that. And also something, I don't think it's weird. I think it's just more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had like a close female friend since like high school. Because
I don't know if I've had a close male friend since high school.
Well,
like Boy Sam for like a little bit.
Yeah, Boy Sam is Boy Sam. Anyway, but I don't want to get off too much of a tangent, but the one like close female friend that I had across middle and high school, we just kind of went different trajectories. Like she became a cheerleader and was like really pretty and like, you know, mixed. I don't know if mixed is like a bad thing to say these days, by the way. We would, if someone was mixed, we just called them mixed. So biracial, I think, is what you call them. But, you know, in the Black community, if you were high yellow, as they say, you were automatically like better. Even though I am like a light-skinned person, being mixed was like being above light-skinned. You learn something. Community? Yes.
Why?
Colorism.
Well, but like, do darker skinned people think that you're like, does someone darker than you think that you're better than them?
Well, no, it's not like an individual thing. It's like a societal thing. Like it's ingrained it's ingrained into like the Black psyche. Colorism is like a really deep issue that I don't even know if I could like
it seems
fully
like
parse it.
It's almost like, to me, it seems like a deeper layer of racism in a single race.
Exactly. Well, it's colorism.
It seems really bad in my opinion.
It is really bad.
Okay.
I wasn't saying that it was a good thing, but
no, I wasn't saying you were. It was just like I feel like I don't like I guess we don't talk about politics, and like maybe we'll disagree on this, but like the movie In the Heights, I really didn't like the controversy because everything has a controversy nowadays, but like I didn't like the controversy around that movie because it was like, why aren't there darker skinned people in this movie? There's too many light skinned Latino people. There's not enough dark skinned Latino people. And I was like, well, there are, but then it's like, but no, we need like a dark skinned main character. And it's like a
proper Afro-Latino.
Yeah.
I will say personally that I understood where they were coming from with that. And I sort of kind of agree with them. You know, even though that I, being the light-skinned person, do benefit from colorism in some way, even though that's not a good thing. I don't like that it's like that. But I think there does need to be more darker-skinned, positive representation in the media. But we're not going to get into it. So, back to my friend. We kind of went in different trajectories in high school. Like I said, she was like the pretty cheerleader girl who mostly got along with everyone and, you know, went to parties and stuff. And here I am, hating everything and everyone around me. All I wanted to do was go home and play The Sims and just, I wasn't having a good time in high school. And also, I honestly kind of felt that I was better than everybody, which honestly goes to like some deeper part of my psyche that also relates back to, you know, being Black. But
oh my God, Aaron, were you an incel?
Honestly, I was on my way. I was, you know, not like the other girls. I was on my way to becoming a femcel.
We probably also get along because we're both not like other girls.
Oh my God.
What are you on the Enneagram?
What?
Oh, okay, you don't know what that is.
Enneagram?
Maybe that's the Enneagram.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I've only done the Myers-Briggs. I mean, kinda.
Mostly. Probably. Yeah. I mean, Patricia got me into it, but like, it probably is more, but it's probably mostly a white people thing.
Probably. But after that, me and this other girl became the best of friends. Probably better friends than me you are like right now. The only thing is that we never like hung out outside of school because that just wasn't something that I did at the time. But something that happened was that one day I get to school and she's just not there and nobody knows where she went. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Oh man. No, I kind of wanted to be left on the cliffhanger. That's like shocking.
It is shocking. It was shocking to me at the time because like I was, you know, trying to text her and like we also had that relationship where we would just text each other all the time, not about anything in particular, and just, you know, have random conversations about the randomest things. And we also had a very similar sense of humor. And then one day I get to school and she's not there. And eventually I find out. Now, this was the prevailing rumor at the time.
What happened?
I'm getting there.
Okay, but I feel like we also need to be wrapping up.
Okay. This was the prevailing rumor at the time, was that her parents took her out of school because they found out that she was gay. And like,
really?
Yes.
Was that public school?
Yes.
Really? Okay. Yes.
And they had like moved her to Georgia. So
'Cause she was gay?
Yeah, I guess to take her out of that environment. I have no idea.
They're
so
like, we gotta get her out of these gays.
I mean, I guess there was a very large lesbian population at my high school. I will say that.
Were her parents like really conservative?
Her mom was. I don't think her dad was. So I was reflecting on this actually pretty recently. And I think
feel
what...
like no.
I get... Okay. I feel like what actually happened with my female soulmate is that I think her parents may have been getting a divorce at the time. And what actually happened is that her dad took her to Georgia because that's where he was from. Her mom was from Alabama. Mm-hmm. I think that's what actually happened. Of course, I've never gotten to the bottom of this. But after that, I just never saw her again. I never talked to her again until like literally last calendar year. I had been recommended her account on Twitter, right? And it had her name on it and it had her picture on it. I'm like, whoa, that's her. And I still had her phone number. And so I thought, okay, if it's her, if it's not her, then whatever. But if it's her, then we can maybe reconnect again. So I ended up texting her and be like, hey, is this so-and-so? And she was like, yeah, who is this? And it's like, it's me. And she's like, oh my goodness.
Just Arin. Roll credits.
That was so lame. I can't believe you're ruining this special moment for me.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, we ended up reconnecting briefly. And I mean, we still don't talk because honestly, so much time has passed since then. That was my sophomore year of high school that she just like up and left. Mm-hmm. It's not to say that it would be like weird or anything, but I mean, she does still live in Georgia. As far as I know right now, she graduated college. She's working on her master's degree. She's living with her girlfriend and their dog. So as far as I can see, she's happy. And unfortunately, it seems like her dad may have passed away in the last couple of years. And it seemed like she loved him a lot and didn't really mess with her mom all that much. Probably because of, divorce things. But yeah. Let's wrap this up. Final question. Do you consider us to be besties?
Well, I feel like I don't know, maybe like the simplest way I can answer is like maybe like second to Melissa, but I haven't like
well, she's your girlfriend.
Yeah, I know, different. But like yeah, that's true. I don't know. I guess I haven't thought about it entirely.
Okay. I have, and the answer is yes.
Okay. I try to like quantify things like mathematically, are you my best friend?
Okay.
I guess I haven't done the proof yet.
Okay.
But I would say probably. I would say off the top of my head, probably currently with because it's like Patricia and I were / are like very close, but it's like with that distance there, it's like you can't be necessarily as close, hanging out as much. And so like, I feel like with the closeness of our friendship and the frequency of us hanging out, I would say probably, yeah. But I don't know if mentally I've like labeled it that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I understand.
But I guess I also have distinguished like between like best friend and like girlfriend in the past, where it's like Melissa's my girlfriend, but like Patricia's my best friend. But even then it's like in an early stages of like a relationship, it's like I still considered like me and Patricia like better friends than Melissa. You know what I mean? But I think like since me and Melissa have been together for like 2 years now, then it's like I think
has it been 2 years?
Mm-hmm. More than that. 2 years now. I feel like now it's kind of like, okay, she's my best friend and my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. However, I feel like it's different because obviously you two know each other on like a deeper, more intimate level than you and I know each other. So I feel like they're in different categories.
Well, but this is true. You can say that, but I guess these are my categories that I'm labeling.
Well, yeah.
Because I think like me and Patricia have like a very intimate, very like personal relationship. It was completely platonic, but it was I guess very deep. And so yeah. Because
I've shared some very personal things with you that I wouldn't exactly just go like tell anybody else. Especially these 8 months. Man, that did a number on me. So that was a good first episode. High five, bestie.
Okay, we're not that. She faked me out and like, oh my god, it hurts. All right,
I can't believe you fell for that.
Podcast canceled. Maybe that's why we're not best friends. You won't high five me.
I can't believe you fell for that.
Oh my god, podcast canceled.
Too easy.
Podcast canceled.
Too easy.
I don't think. See, if we were best friends, you would know how much that hurts. Like, anyway, for those who don't know, she offered a high five and then faked me out, which, like, you know, I don't know. I guess we can't get into that, but, like, man, I am gonna cry about this later.
Good.
Unironically.
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
Anyways, well, that's gonna be it for.
Right, Melissa's my best friend.
Oh my god, let me do the outro. God.
Wait, who are we sponsored by? We
don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. This episode is brought to you by
Joseph's roommate, who so graciously said he would be quiet, but I heard him talking several times throughout this episode. But we're not going to talk about it.
He busts out. So this episode is brought to you by Connor.
Anyways, I need to do the outro now. I'm a pro at this.
Oh wait, what?
I need outro.
I need a part in the outro.
Well, I don't know if you know like what to say.
Bye.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you are subscribed to us wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want clips, juicy selections from podcast episodes, you can go to our YouTube channel, and that is called the Not Just Arin Podcast. Be sure to be following us on Twitter and Instagram at Not Just Arin Pod. And if you want to discuss things on social media, we do have a special hashtag. I came up with it. Hashtag NJAPod. And you will see that in the bios of our Twitter and Instagram. So that's that. And we'll see you whenever the next episode is filmed. Recorded. Why do I keep saying filmed? Oh my god, I hate that. Okay. Whatever. This is over.